Hi Gemini, this is your forecast for the month of September 2018. This is a general reading for Gemini Sun, Gemini Rising, or Gemini Moon. For a more rounded overview, please watch your rising and moon sign as well. So Gemini, you're starting off the first week with the Lover's card, and there's a strong tie to you. So in focus are your partnerships, your colleagues, your business partners, your lovers, your friends, and if this is a health issue, perhaps connecting to a healer. But you are at some kind of crossroad where you're having to make a decision. And it may feel like it's an impossible choice. You may be struggling with some form of temptation. There could be issues of sharing or trust. Again, maybe, this is something very sexual, some kind of meeting or attraction you have with somebody, and you're having to adjust to something because of that. So it could be a new relationship, or you're reviewing a relationship that you're already involved with. But again, there may be some ordeal attached to it. You are choosing a path with two very different outcomes. And so your connections to others are very important. It could be that you're thinking of love and marriage, or, maybe there's a love affair, or there's some kind of commitment that you're involved in. So you may be torn between something, and you may have strong desires related to that. And in some cases, there's a surprise element, either because you have an unexpected encounter with someone or someone connected to your past, or there's some unexpected news that requires you to make a choice. And it may mean opening yourself up to new possibilities. One thing is for sure, you get an opportunity this week to clarify something, to improve it, to repair it if need be. And so something is going to trigger an event that will give you more understanding of something. You have more awareness about yourself and your role in a situation. And because of this exchange, you may have greater peace of mind. So this could be a week where you are meeting one or two new people, or perhaps reconnecting with someone from your past. It could be you're involved in some kind of third-party situation or some interference by someone. But this is a week where you do want to get some clarification. You want to fix something. And so you have a strong sense of responsibility. You're dedicated to something or someone. And you also have a lot of magnetism, a lot of charm, a lot of personal appeal. So you could be at a popularity peak this week where people are wanting to get to connect to you in some way. It could be romantically, it could be business-wise, but a lot of people are making demands of your time and your energy. And, these could be pleasurable encounters or exchanges. You're enjoying them. And yet, somehow or another, they're getting in the way of your real objectives. Maybe you're focused on a goal or a project, and, you're dealing with interruptions or people who intrude upon your time or your space. And so you may have to have some discussions with other people and try to put it in the realm of, laughter or making light of something, because you could be involved in some stressful situations with other people. Even if you have a good relationship, your partnerships may experience some kind of tension or disagreement. And so the way you handle that is going to be important. And you're very good at saying the right thing. I mean, after all, you rule communication and thought and speech. So finding a way to get past a situation without making the other person feel threatened or insulted could be very important this week. And this is a time period where you're feeling lighter, happier, more cheerful, more spontaneous, more adventurous, more playful. You are willing to take a risk. And you may be doing that in various aspects of your life. If you are an artist or a creative person, you may be experimenting with new genres. You may be taking your work in a new direction, trying something new, pushing the boundaries. If this is academic, maybe you're coming up with ideas or solutions or fresh concepts that are very important. And you're getting notice for what you're doing. Could be you receive an award of some sort, or you get some kind of promotion at work, or you get a bonus or some kind of special recognition. And that may even be in the form of an apology if you're trying to smooth something over this week. Now, part of the issue for you could be that you're not being completely honest about a situation. And of course, to repair it, you're going to need to speak your truth. Your strategy may mean that, you want to keep it to yourself or stuff it down or suppress it. And that's actually creating a misunderstanding. There's a need to clear the air about something in order to repair or clarify it. And if you don't do that, it could invite more problematic situations because there's not a clear understanding between you and another person. This is also about trying to bend too far backwards for someone else. You are trying to live out a projection of who you think you should be according to someone else's standards or ideals. You want to please somebody or impress somebody, and you're going out of your way to do so. And in the process, you may be inauthentic or disingenuous in some way, misleading, simply because you wanted to be liked or accepted or to please another person. So this is about you looking at in those areas where you're giving in just a little bit too much. You're being too accommodating. You're known for your flexibility, your adaptability, being resourceful, and, bending with circumstances. But this is the need for you to look at where you may be going too far with that. And in some cases, where you may be a little bit too jealous or demanding of others, needing that attention and that recognition. So because you are on this high this week, there can be a tendency for you to exploit your charm. Perhaps, you too often go to those words or behaviors that, drawing on that personal appeal rather than connecting to somebody with substance. Maybe there's some superficiality or some fickleness in order to serve your agenda. So you have to beware of using that as a go-to in order to get your way. So this is a week where, again, there could be some surprises, surprising news that relate to important choices or decisions that you have to make. Now, hopefully, if you're dealing with some negative situations, it could be because of some kind of inconsistency. Maybe there's a lack of commitment in your relationship, or it's an unhealthy relationship, or you've been separated from your partner. It could be a third party has ruptured your connection to another person, or you've made a poor decision. There's been some infidelity. For some of you, maybe you're dealing with some health issues that impact your connection to others. There's some illness or health problems, or maybe, there's some hurt feelings because of some kind of disagreement or separation, or somebody is spreading themselves all over. There's a lover in every port. So there's some important choices to be made this week based on some surprising circumstances. Now, the second week, you have this 9 of Pentacles. So, last week was all about partnership, and this week could be more of a focus on your own company and the pleasure of being alone. Now, perhaps you want to be alone with someone. Maybe it's someone that you admire. Maybe you're a secret admirer, or they are, and you very much respect this person because they possess your ideal. They are charming, beautiful, handsome, attractive, savvy, intelligent, cultured, and yet somehow they may be unavailable, either because they are attached or there's some circumstance that keeps you from connecting to this person. And so this is a week where you may be focused more on the self, your self-reliance, your self-sufficiency, your self-employment. You're practicing some discipline, and it may be in order to gain your financial and personal independence in some way. And you may, especially if you were tempted towards someone, you may be focused on self-mastery. So this is a week that, is involved with the trappings of life, the things that bring pleasure, having the time, the money, and the inclination to enjoy oneself. You may be pursuing your own interests or things that bring happiness to you. Now, in some cases, this may tie to somebody connected to land or the earth, gardening. So you may be making decisions that tie to your investments, perhaps retirement or royalties or assets or property or real estate or inheritance, or perhaps some kind of unearned income where ownership is important. So this is a week where the capacity to be alone and self-sufficient is very important, or you're making some decisions that connect to the physical, the pleasure that comes from nature, the simple things, the earth, perhaps your animal, or maybe, you're in a retreat, where you're focused on your physical well-being and pleasing yourself. For some of you, this is going to tie to another person, perhaps decisions where you are in support of someone, a wife, a mistress, somebody that, you fund in some way. And so you're thinking of issues that connect to pleasure, whether it's solitary or connection to someone you admire or someone that you support. And so there are issues to be addressed this week of expectation. Now, relying on self, your own personal achievement, is the way to provide for your peace of mind. If you're expecting too much of other people, a partnership, or vice versa, other people are making too many demands on you, then, the parties involved are going to get a strong reality check. This is a week to benefit by what you're putting down as a foundation of your very own. Your past perseverance, the hard work that you put in, your belief in yourself and what you're doing. So again, you could be getting some attention for your efforts. For some of you, a connection to family or some kind of business connection is going to be very profitable and fortunate for you. Maybe you're going to purchase some land, or you're going to inherit some property. Or if this is about somebody you admire or somebody that admires you, somebody may be very bold in putting out what their feelings are. And there could be a focus on your happiness, enjoying yourself, taking a risk to let somebody know, or somebody putting out there how they feel about you. In some cases, though, because you're making a choice that has some kind of risk or liability to it, you may need to tread very lightly within a situation. Perhaps there's something going on, maybe behind your back. Maybe you hear some gossip and it's hard for you to grasp what's been said, or maybe there's something being said that's unkind or unfair. And so you're going to have to think carefully about how you want to respond to any accusations or sharing some secrets or participating in the rumor mill, because that could very well come back to bite you later. This is you really being discerning about your connections, because it could be that something you are attracted to, whether it's a form of entertainment or some kind of pleasure or pursuit or person, is actually going to invite some kind of intrigue or problem or heartache, and it's going to be, more than it's worth, more than you're ready to deal with. And it could be that you're pursuing this as a result of some kind of emotional disappointment or loss. So this could be a week where you have to be careful. There could be a false sense of security. You may be, again, expecting too much from someone or vice versa, and end up losing something financially or having some kind of material damage or a threat to your reputation. So you're having to be careful. The stronger your determination is to just get on with your own life, the sooner and easier you're going to be able to overcome some form of uncertainty or procrastination or fear fear you have of being rejected. This could be a week where perhaps you don't have the independence that you want. Maybe you're dealing with some financial instability and you're at a crossroads. You're having to make an important choice. It could be that something has been stolen, or somebody has created some kind of negative situation concerning property or real estate. Maybe there's some unexpected repairs that you have to address, or you have some issues with your animals or your pets, or you're dealing with the burden of wealth. Maybe you don't even know if somebody's attracted to you for yourself or for your money, or you feel like you want to be in a partnership and yet you're not sure. So you're having this inner battle between connecting with another person or feeling trapped. Do you want to be free, or do you want to hitch yourself to somebody else? So you may be dealing with issues where honesty or dishonesty is at root. Maybe, somebody has gained through some form of deceit or swindle. So this is about, again, looking at those partnerships, what you're pursuing, and what's going to happen in the pursuit of that. What kind of risk are you taking? Now, the third week, you have fire energy. This could be a connection to Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or just the traits of this night. And for some of you, this could be a romantic interest. Now, again, this could be a secret admirer that you're connecting to, but there's a high energy situation that ties to your passion, your desires, your ambition. And you may be very enthusiastic about pursuing something. Maybe it's travel. Maybe you're trying to motivate somebody. Maybe you're promoting something or marketing something. So you're in high energy situations that move at a fast pace. For some of you, this ties to property, maybe changing your residence, traveling, separating from somebody. Others of you, you could be negotiating something, or maybe you're in some form of competition. This is a knight who enjoys the challenge of competition. He gets stoked. And again, issues of commitment are important. This is somebody who is not necessarily wanting to settle down. They want to have fun, and they pursue fun, and they may not be thinking about the consequences of that pursuit. So this could be acting very rashly. For some of you, you're involved in some kind of new project. Maybe you're an entrepreneur, or you have invented something, or you entertain others in some way, or maybe you're facilitating something. You're the go-between. So there could be new interests, new projects, new pursuits where you sell your ideas, or you're planning something, marketing something. For some of you, this may tie to finances. Maybe you're involved in stock brokering, or something where there's a risk involved. Now, this is a knight who, again, is very charismatic, very fiery, very flirty. They know how to have a good time. They know how to woo others, how to sell an idea. And they usually attract a lot of attention. And so this is somebody who, while they know how to show the other person a good time, they may be very selfish. They definitely know how to look out for themselves, and they're very determined to get what they want. But again, this is fire energy. That interest could easily burn out if it's not stoked, or it's not acted upon. And so this is somebody who wants to have a connection, but on their terms. So they have to actively work at developing relationships that are equal, that have give and take between them. And so, this person is energized by the excitement of a connection. And they may have more than one partner. Could be somebody who is worrying a whole lot about their fame, their fortune, their love interests, their future, their appearances. And it may mean that somebody has to, if this could be a rival, maybe you're interested in someone, or somebody's going after something that belongs to you. You may need to confront this person or deal with a challenge that is threatening your personal space, your assets, your person. So for some of you, there's a lack of passion, perhaps a lack of motivation. Some connection has lost its luster. Things are becoming static or stale. And so you're not reaping the benefit of your action. And it could be that somebody was going after somebody simply for the conquest of it. So you may be dealing with some issue of frustration or abandonment or promiscuity. But whatever you're doing, it's likely that this is impulsively driven by your passion. So you could suddenly begin something or end something, some pursuit, endeavor, or relationship. So for some of you, you're going to accept a date with somebody. Maybe you were surprised by it. They put it out there, you weren't expecting it, and you weren't even thinking about them asking, and you accept. Or maybe you're going to create the surprise element. Maybe you're going to make that first move. So maybe you couple up with somebody that you've admired or haven't been able to connect with. And maybe it's somebody new or somebody you were previously with. The only thing is there is a timing issue involved. So something is playing havoc with your intuition. You know, it's very strong right now, and yet somehow the timing is off. Either you have just really vested that, hey, this thing is totally going to work out, and it falls through, or you are like tossing it off to the side thinking this is not going to come to pass, and lo and behold, it manifests. So, you know, something is going on with timing. Now, for some of you, this may, again, connect to healing. Maybe you are in retreat mode. You're trying to take care of yourself. You're trying to heal something, either physically or emotionally or a connection. You're trying to align how you feel inside with your external circumstances. So the timing could be that you need a timeout, or your partner does. You want to nourish yourself. You need to love yourself. Or, you know, you're involved in some kind of risky behavior where you're willing to take a risk, and that risk is going to be something that you regret. And so it could be something you're doing where you move into the unknown and there's some problems that result. Maybe you're involved in a misunderstanding or an argument. Maybe you're estranged from someone, or there's some kind of a break in your situation. Maybe if this is financial, a loan wasn't repaid, or there's some unexpected damage, or something is going on where there's a creation of some form of strife. And again, maybe it's because somebody was acting impulsively or taking a risk, or just the passion died out with regard to a situation. Now, the last week you have this death card. So there's a strong tie to Scorpio for some of you. But for others of you, this is about either regenerating something or allowing it to stagnate. And you may be undergoing some major life changes. Again, it could be that you are involved in a new project, a new job. Maybe you are in a new relationship. Maybe you're changing your residence. And so there are people that you're coming in contact who represent agents of change for you. And hopefully you're not, holding on to the past and fearing that change. It could be that you are finishing up some unfinished business. You are transforming a situation, and maybe you want to have greater freedom. You want to leave the past behind, or you want to renew something. Whatever it is, the focus is empowering yourself through this change, making some kind of transition where you maybe purge or release or surrender in one area of your life in order to revitalize another area of your life. So for some of you, there's a change of status. Maybe you're getting married, maybe you're getting divorced, maybe you're leaving a job, starting one, relocating, changing home, ending a relationship, or just changing an aspect of your relationship in some way. And this may come through intense situations. Maybe it ties to shared resources. Maybe it's your health or surgery or issues of sexuality or intimacy. Something that changes you. And this is going to be a week where either you're facing opportunities or challenges or both. and your will to survive is kicking in. And so you're going to reinvent yourself, and the sooner you can, the better off you'll be. Because this is a week where you want to be free. You want to move in new directions, and you may be willing to take a risk to do so. You don't want to be in a situation where you feel boxed in, or that you don't have options, or that you're limited, or something is not moving forward, or there's an uncertainty. Because this is a week where you're very concerned about your security and the ability to be self-sufficient. Your ability to provide for your own needs, your own happiness, and you're very motivated. So again, maybe you end a relationship or you change an aspect of it. Maybe, you had one type of relationship that no longer works and now you're something else. Maybe you worked with a partner and now you don't want to work with this person anymore, but you want to stay a friend. Or you were involved sexually with a partner, but you don't want to be a lover anymore, but you still the friendship is still valuable to you. So things are changing. For some of you, you're going to pick up and resume a friendship that you had with somebody from a long time ago. So this is a week about using your forte of flexibility, adaptability to changing and unpredictable circumstances, because this is a week that holds twists in the road for you. And it may center around an invitation, maybe to socialize, or to start up a romance, or to begin a friendship, or some opportunity, or requiring that you connect to others in the community. So if you are thinking about the past, where things went wrong, maybe there's those unkind accusations, falsely given or not, some gossip, threats to your reputation. If you think about the unpleasant situation, it could cause you to create excuses for yourself where you close off to opportunities and other people. So again, there's a focus on that self-sufficiency, but are you walling yourself off? Are you too self-contained and not interested in trying to regenerate or work things out because you would be more willing to walk out rather than work through some kind of constructive dialogue? So if you are in denial or resistant to making changes, guess what? You are going to be stuck. You're going to be stagnant. So this is about how you regenerate yourself most of all, whether materially, emotionally, physically, psychologically. This is about reaching the top of that mountain by finding a better way to get up there. And you can do that as soon as you're ready to. Now, the underlying energy is this Two of Swords. So there's some kind of dilemma. Again, this important choice that you may be refusing to make. And it could be because you're not listening to your intuition, or you're closing off emotionally, or you feel like you just don't know all the details, or you're blinding yourself to the truth. So you may be cutting off important aspects of yourself. Or maybe you've made a decision and you don't know how that's going to turn out. So you're avoiding something. There's a stalemate, an impasse, where nothing is really moving forward. Perhaps you make a decision where you've been struggling, especially if there was a will to survive. Maybe, you decide to call a truce, or, it involves some kind of agreement or settlement. So you may be taking stock of the lay of the land right now and waiting to see how things play out before you make a decision. But it's your drive. Remember, with that Knight of Wands, it's your fire that's stoking a situation. Either you're working for yourself or you're working against yourself. But you are operating with blinders on. And either you're too confident or you're operating in self-doubt. And remember, the Knight of Wands says something is off. Either you believe in it and it's not worthy of that belief, or you don't believe in it and it's going to come to pass. So you're having to find a balance. And right now you appear to be stuck. Now, in some cases, your ability to wait it out is going to work in your favor. Maybe this has to do with taking better care of yourself, or, reveling in a situation or a person, or perhaps the need to recognize your own beauty. For some of you, it's going to be very challenging for you to stay on the sidelines and remain impartial. You're going to become impatient. Remember, the Knight of Wands says you're willing to take a risk. You like the competition. You may step out there and suddenly do something, but you may end up regretting that. So you're going to have to work hard to control your behavior, your attitude, because you may say or do the very thing that gets in the way of your desires. Something that you wanted to save or salvage or promote, you actually work against yourself and become your own worst enemy. And maybe the motivation was you wanted to save yourself. Remember, the Death card says your will to survive is very strong. And so maybe all you thought about was yourself or advancing yourself in some way. And because of that, you ended up creating conflict, whether a conflict with another person, a conflict with yourself, or you became the instigator of a dispute between other people. So this is going to be a month where you're going to have to gain some mastery over yourself and your emotions, because you may make decisions impulsively based on some irrational fears or anxieties that come up when you least expect. Now, this is going to be about your level of attachment to a situation or a circumstance or a person. And this is going to be an emotionally challenging month for you. You have two major cards, the Lovers and the Death card. So this could be about a sexual partnership, two lovers, releasing a partnership, regenerating one. And aside from the Death card, where the lessons are, there's very little emotion or sensitivity. Could even be some coldness in a situation. So the Knight of Wands has his back to the Death card. It could be, because of a lack of commitment, something is not generated. And there are issues here of self-sabotage. Maybe you want to move something forward and then you start talking yourself out of it. So there's some movement, some progression, but it's questionable for how long you're going to make this progress. And it seems like, somebody is having difficulty, a great deal of difficulty, accepting a situation that's not the way they want it to be. And maybe there's some confusion and some uncertainty, but there's also the possibility that somebody with some experience is going to offer some guidance. Now, either you or someone connected to you may be recovering from addiction. Maybe you're attending a support group. There's some kind of dilemma and important choice where either something needs to be let go of or something needs to be regenerated. All right, Gemini, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and don't forget to subscribe. You can join me over on Instagram or Patreon for extras, or on my blog for a daily post. And of course, you can always book a personal reading at thealchemistastrologer.com.